I don't know why it didn't. All right, now supposedly we're live. Should we run Scott back?
It's all right. They know about Scott.
All right, all
But
right, all right, all right, all right.
sorry you guys didn't get to see the Scott intro this week. A little bit of technical difficulties.
We still can run it. I can
All
run
right,
it right now.
Run it.
All right.
Hey everyone, Scott Hansen here from NFL Red Zone, and you're watching the Super Fantasy Bros podcast. 1 hour of commercial-free podcasting starts now. Enjoy the show.
Here we go. Here we go.
All
Now
right,
we're good.
there
We got
we
it.
go.
We're good.
Thank you, Scott. Cannot wait to hear that again on Sunday. But welcome back to the Super Fantasy Bros podcast, brought to you in conjunction, as always, with the Old City Sports Network. Week 1 in the books. We are back for week 2 to break down the upcoming games, starting with tonight's game, Eagles versus the Vikings, go Birds, and then getting into the Sunday slate as well as Monday. As you can see, Sean and Q were both out today. Sean is going to the Eagles game. I'm jealous. Q had a little personal matter he had to tend to. So it'll be me and T-Gods holding it down.
Yep.
And as we move along through the episode, feel free to drop any start-sit questions or any questions in general that you guys might have. For today's format, we're going to bounce back to what we did starting at the midway point of last season, going to preview tonight's game, obviously, mix in some of the fan favorite cap or no cap, and talk about a bit of our rankings for this week. And, of course, wrap it up with game picks for each game. So let's get right into it, starting with the Birds and the Vikings.
Hell yeah.
Just about the whole Eagles offense is a lock in your fantasy lineup. And Dallas Goedert should return there even after a donut last week.
Yeah, but I mean, you gotta feel a little bit upset about last week, but
You do. But like we said, Smitty had a donut week 1 last year. We saw what he did.
Look at him. What did he finish? Like wide receiver 9, 10?
Wide receiver 9, baby.
Crazy.
He's a menace. But, I mean, you can't worry too much. This Eagles offense, obviously, we looked a little rusty last week, but it's week 1. None of the starters really played in the preseason, so I think all that rust will be knocked off, and Sirianni will have his guys ready to go. But in other words, DeAndre Swift also struggled to even see the field last week, with Gainwell dealing with an injury and out this week. How did we rank him this week, and do we expect to see more of him?
I better see more of him because I was super excited last week to see Swift.
Bro, me too.
I don't understand, why. Why? I don't know. It was nice to see Kenny, be so nice, but it sucked not seeing Swift because that's, I don't know, that's where all the excitement was built around. Yeah,
right. We paid him, brought him on the team, and just to not use him. I do love Kenny Gainwell getting the volume. Obviously, we've been a fan of him for the past couple of years, but you bring in DeAndre Swift, you got to use him. I think he's going to be used a lot tonight, especially since Gainwell is out, and I'm not sure how much we're going to be using Penny or Boston Scott, so I expect to see a healthy dose of DeAndre Swift tonight.
I got Swift at 30. I didn't realize how many.
30?
Bro, there's so many. There's so many good running backs.
There is, but I think he's going to get fed tonight. I have him at 18.
Oh. Oh, my God.
I'm high on Swift this week.
All right. I don't hate it. We do have a question real quick if you'd like to answer this real quick.
Let's do it.
Got to start one of these.
One of them.
Full PPR.
Full PPR.
I might take the shot on Puka. I might take the shot.
I think, isn't he playing a tough defense this week?
But 15 targets is... Oh, start two.
Oh, start two? I mean, yeah, I don't
15
hate
targets.
I know, I don't hate taking a chance on Puka. But, and then it's between Madison and Sanders. I think I would lean towards Madison just because he played majority of the snaps last week for the Vikings, and Booby was in the mix with Chuba and whoever else they have. I forget his name.
Chuba looked good. We'll get to all that probably.
Yeah, we'll get to all that. But
Chuba looked all right. It was, I don't know.
I think I'll go Matty Boy and Puka for that.
I would too.
All right. So start Swift this week. We're expecting a big week from him. As for the Vikings, J. Jeff and Hawk should be locked into all lineups, obviously. Alexander Madison, speaking of, had a decent outing week 1. We rolling him out here again against this Birds front 8.
You don't love it, but yeah.
You got
Hell
to.
yeah.
Yeah.
Got to.
I mean, I think he's going to get the volume, and there's always a chance he could fall face first in the end zone, as Sean would say. So I think just based off him being like the pure starter, you got to roll him out there.
100%.
Volume nowadays for running back seems to be like one in
rare. It's a rarity now.
Right. It's crazy. What the hell happened?
Meta's changing.
It is. All right. Moving on to Justin Jefferson's counterpart, Jordan Addison. He had a huge rookie debut last week. Are we trusting him as a flex moving forward? And where do you have him ranked?
Looking for the rank. Do I
am
trust
as
him?
well.
Okay, so I'm at 34.
I'm at 31.
Okay, do I trust him? No, I got trust issues. Would I start him? Yeah, and I'm looking at some like people around him, like easily start him over Gabe Davis, easily start him over
100%.
Drake London.
Yep.
I'd consider him over Sutton.
I think he's over Sutton.
All right.
Especially this week with James Bradbury being out. I think Addison's going to be able to – obviously, J-Jeff's going to have all the attention.
Yeah.
I think Addison could be a sneaky, like, boom play this week. Hopefully
he
not.
should be. He should have a good game.
But we shall see. But I think as of right now, what he showed me last week with that big touchdown, that was nice. He had 6 targets, which isn't bad being on a team with Hogginson and J. Jeff.
Yep.
I think he's worth the trust.
All right.
And if you have any other questions related to this game, feel free to drop them. We'll be answering them throughout the episode. But for now, let's move on to cap or no cap. Starting with Tyreek Hill should have been drafted as the wide receiver 1 off the board.
That's tough, man.
That's tough.
Bro, like, I'm going to say no cap, dude.
No cap.
Between the volume and the deep threat, it's like, bro.
I know. The only thing that scares me is the potential of Tua getting hurt.
100%.
And then who the hell is behind him to throw Tyreek the ball?
I honestly don't even know. I should know. I should know being on a podcast, but I don't know.
Maybe it's still Chase Daniel or whoever it was last year.
That's
I have
disgusting.
no idea. But yeah, that's gross. And I also think like Jalen Waddle being on the other side of the ball from him. Obviously, Jalen
clearly doesn't matter. It clearly does not matter.
But I feel like there's like a few games where Jalen Waddle is gonna like break out, and Tyreek's not gonna have a bad game. He's still gonna have like 15 to 20, but it's not gonna be like that boom like we saw last week, obviously.
Right.
But I mean, coming into this year, I knew Tyreek was a lock for at least top 3 off the board. So if anybody took him at 1, and then he obviously had that performance last week, wouldn't call you crazy.
Wouldn't call you crazy. Another question right here.
What do we got?
Got to start 1. Jamal Williams, Drake London, or Puka. Again, I'm starting
Puka.
I'm starting Puka, bro. 15 targets is unreal.
Everybody scoop Puka.
Bro, 15 targets is not normal. Like, that's not just like...
Yeah. Who did the Saints play this week?
Wait, I know this. You can look in the Google Doc.
Oh, yep. They're playing the Panthers. I like Jamal this week. I think I'll go Jamal over Puka.
If you want, yeah. I mean, if you want to be safer, sure, but
yeah, safer
PPR, flex. Give me.
Obviously, Puka has a higher upside with those targets.
All right.
All right. Yeah, and he also brings up a good point that he's just worried that defenses didn't prep for him, and they have a game to study on him. So,
right.
I mean, we'll see. We'll see. All right. Next on the cap or no cap, Drake London and Kyle Pitts are unstartable until proven otherwise.
100% no cap. I'm starting
No cap.
Alexander Madison tonight over Drake London because I feel like I
Don't
have
blame
to.
you at all. That
Insane.
aside from those running backs, that offense looked horrible as always. I mean, I don't get why Kyle Pitts is being hyped up every single year. He was my least valuable
because
pick.
he's good. He is good, but the team does not know how to use him. I don't get it. It's not hard. It's not hard to just give
really
him a shot.
He's huge. Just throw it anywhere around him, and he'll be able to make a play. But it's just until that happens, or even for Drake London, I'm leaving both of them on the bench.
Yep.
As for Zay Flowers and Jordan Addison, are they both must start wide receivers after both of their big week ones?
Like, I want to say no cap, but I also just said Addison. I don't fully trust him yet. But Zay, on the other hand, 100%. 100% starting Zay.
Half cap, half no cap.
I'm
definitely a lot more confident in Zay Flowers.
But I wouldn't mind starting both.
Targets last week.
10 targets. I'm pretty sure, like 9 receptions,
catches,
2 carries.
He went crazy.
Off.
But yeah, I'd say both of them are definitely worth like a thought about being started. But Zay Flowers should be started every single week.
Yep. Another question, real quick. Joshua Kelly must start if Eckler's out.
Yeah, hell yeah.
100%.
He almost split carries with Eckler last week.
Right. Don't get cute.
Healthy. Don't get cute. You know what to do. All right. Next, cap or no cap, Joe Burrow and the Bengals will be fine and should all still be considered must starts this week and beyond.
Bro, no cap. Come on, bro.
No cap.
Who put that in there, Sean?
Sean, what the hell you doing?
Come on, Sean. Killing me.
All right, for today's ad read, today's sponsor is Fanatics. We have reached week 2 of the NFL season, and you are still bringing out that raggedy jersey from your closet. This NFL season, we are partnered with Fanatics, and it's time to get yourself a new one. Go to the link in our bio on all platforms. Take advantage of their sale going on now. Use code SUMMER, SUMMER, to get 25% off your entire order. You like that?
I love that.
Not Kirk tonight.
Go
get that new jersey you've been eyeing up, or even a t-shirt to rep your squad or favorite player. Again, go to the link in our bio on all platforms. Helps us out a ton, and get yourself some new NFL merch. All right, let's get into our rankings breakdown based on some guys from last week, from Calm or Chaos, Trust or Bust. First one being, is Dak a startable option after sleepwalking through week 1 in a huge win and now playing a tough defense in the New York Jets? And where do we have him ranked?
I'm looking. I got Dak
17.
I'm at 18. I have Jordan Love over him.
Dak stinks.
Dak does stink.
He's so bad. And it's like, I understand the defense had a great game, so he didn't have to do much. But like I was telling T-Gods or you earlier, he barely completed 50% of his passes. He didn't do anything that made me think like, oh yeah, Dak is going to improve this year. Not even.
No, it looks like he's been getting worse. Like,
yeah, it's crazy. I think Trey Lance, maybe in due time.
Come on, bro. Not yet. Not yet. Not yet.
In due time.
Real quick. Zay Flowers or Michael Pittman, standard league.
Oof.
That's tough because Pittman looked pretty juicy last week.
Yeah, he did. Let me see where I have him ranked. Pittman and Zay. I know I have Pittman pretty high this week.
You could honestly just like flip a coin.
Yeah, I have Pittman 22, Zay 27.
I think Pittman's definitely a little safer.
But... yeah, and he's going up against the Texans. So, I mean, their defense is not good by any means.
Not very good. Well, and Zay's playing the Bengals, right? That could be like more of a shootout.
That could be a shootout.
I think Zay. I don't know, man. That's
tough.
Really hard. That's really hard.
It is. I think I'm still leaning towards Pittman.
Me too. Definitely safer.
Just because he's like that number 1 option.
Right.
Just
Garrett
based
Wilson,
on
T. Higgins, or Algier for flex.
Gotta go T. As
Do
much
you have
as I
to, though?
As much as I love after the donut and the Bengals' abysmal performance all around on offense last year, They have to bounce back
Last
this
week.
Last week. I said last year.
You did.
But last week, I think they're all bound for a big bounce back. Obviously, Garrett Wilson lost Aaron Rodgers last week, but still
That
made an incredible
sucks
touchdown.
for everything.
For
that
everything.
sucks for the
That ruins
entire
the whole
league.
season. Ruins everything.
Oh my god!
But I don't know how much I can trust Zach Wilson. Obviously, T. Higgins on one of the more higher powered offenses in the league, and I think Bijan is still ahead of Algier. I think he'll get his, but the volume's just not going to be there. That's why I'm leaning towards T.
Yeah, and Garrett Wilson is playing a super hard defense. So I mean, like look what they just did to the Giants last week.
Yeah, that's also true. They're playing the Cowboys.
Yeah, give me T. But if you want to start Garrett Wilson,
yeah,
I'll also ride that with you.
And like we just said, that the Ravens and the Bengals could possibly end up being a shootout.
Definitely.
All right. So enough of Dak and his crappy ass. Geno Smith was someone we were believers in this offseason. T-Gods.
Come on, man.
Was week one a fluke, or are we nervous about Geno? And are we confident in him this week?
Bro, he had a better game than Joe Burrow. No one's questioning that. He tripled his points, and no one's Burrow, like, bro.
I mean,
it's Geno. You're not expecting 30 from him. He got 10, so he had a little bit below average of a game. He'll be fine.
And this offense is one of the, just like the Bengals, they'll get back on track. I mean, they have a great receiving core in DK, Lockett, and JSN. I don't see Geno Smith putting up too many 10-point games. He was not really like a boom guy last year, but he was a solid 20 to 25, and I expect him to get back to that. Just this offense is too good, especially with the running backs and the receivers they have. It shouldn't be a problem for Geno. But this week, I would lean towards keeping him on the bench just in case that does continue. Obviously, you hopefully have a better option than Geno Smith.
Come on, man. Is a target right at me?
Yeah, I know. I honestly didn't know that was your only option. I'm sorry.
No, I mean, I got Jordan Love, but...
Oh, go Love. We have another
maybe,
question.
Maybe. Yeah. Laporta or Ertz?
Ertz could have had
lots of targets.
Mm-hmm. I think I'm leaning towards Ertz.
Me too.
There's a lot of mouths to feed on that Lions offense. Ertz is probably the best safety blanket for what's his face? Josh Dobbs. Did he get benched?
I don't know.
Well, whoever's at quarterback, they're going to be thrown to Ertz. He should have had a touchdown last week. It was a little overthrown for him. He couldn't reach up and grab it, but I think Ertz is definitely the safer play. And Rashad White, James Cook, or Algier. I think maybe a little bit of bias here, but I think I'm going James Cook. I have James Cook at 16 this week.
Jeez.
I think the Bills could go up big on the Raiders, and they just start feeding James Cook the ball.
Why did James Cook look so good last week, though?
Because he is good. He just needs the opportunity, man. I've been telling you this. Nobody ever wants to listen to me. So I think I'm going James Cook out of those three.
I'd agree with that. I don't know. It's just like, dude, I don't. Again, you might as well flip a coin with these three. Like, right. I don't like.
For real. A lot of these teams in the chat have good depth.
Definitely.
All right, moving on to the man in Miami. How high did Tua move up in your ranks for week 2 after his incredible game last week?
Let me take a look. See, definitely somewhere high because
I have him at 9.
I'm at 8 over your boy Goff. Sorry.
I don't even know where I've got. Oh, yeah, I've Goff at 10. Did you drop Justin Fields?
Bro, yes.
I have Justin Fields at 8. I think he bounces back this week. I think, well, we'll get to that matchup.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I mean, obviously, Tua, if he's healthy, there's no reason you shouldn't be starting him unless you have a better option. But those Dolphins receivers are one of the top duo in the league, and he has endless opportunity to put up big fantasy weeks.
Yep.
All righty. Next up, are you nervous at all about Eckler being limited for this week? And is Josh Kelly startable after a huge game in week 1? I'd say
Nervous, of
yes and
course.
yes.
Yes, yeah, yes and yes. I mean, if your first round pick is limited, I'm sure you're definitely nervous.
You're definitely nervous.
I'm perfectly fine with just starting Josh Kelly, even if Eckler, dude. I don't know. It depends how much he practices this week, but in the next couple days, week's almost over. But I mean, even if he's still like limited, like going into the game, he's still like questionable, like Sunday morning. Like I'm fine with just starting Josh Kelly, even if Eckler,
not
like,
against that.
Yeah, if Eckler does play, like it's just not worth it.
Yeah, like I said earlier, they damn near split carries last week with Eckler healthy, and as we saw, Josh Kelly is always good for a possible just breakaway run for a touchdown. So
Yep.
I'm definitely nervous about Eckler's injury and confident in starting Josh Kelly, even like T-God said, if Eckler is limited or if he is out. Moving on to the Packers. If Aaron Jones is unable to go, where would you rank A.J. Dillon for this matchup against the Falcons?
Probably not anywhere juicy, to be honest. I think A.J. Dillon stinks at football. I wouldn't even want to start him.
I think he was super hyped up. I mean, me and Q were forced to start him in one of our leagues. That's actually our league, T-Gods, with your pops and all that.
Oh, yep.
But, I mean, he hasn't really shown much. And I'm ranking this week based if Aaron Jones is playing. Obviously, Aaron Jones had a great week last week. But I think if A.J. Dillon's out, he could see the opportunity to put up a big day. But I'm not sure if that volume is going to equal the production we should expect from an RB1 if Aaron Jones is out.
I don't even know if I would move A.J. Dillon like up that much, like if Aaron Jones was out. Like
right now, I have him at 32, and honestly, the guys ahead of him, I don't know if I'm moving them up.
That's what I'm saying. I'm at 31 right now, and if Aaron Jones is out, like I'm not moving him over like Algier or like Brian Robinson. Like I refuse. I
agree. All right. So don't trust AJ, even if Aaron Jones is out. If you're forced to, obviously do what you got to do. There's a possibility he will see the bulk of the work, and he's a big body, so he could get goal line touches and score for you, but wouldn't bank on it.
No.
Moving on to the comeback kid himself, Breece Hall. He looked awesome in his Monday Night Football debut, but still played significantly less snaps than Dalvin Cook. Cook played 50% to Breece Hall's 31%. Are you confident starting either versus the Cowboys' tough defense who destroyed the Giants, or are we just fading this backfield altogether this week?
I don't know. This is weird. Like I would think most people don't have Dalv and Breece, and I feel like if you have either or, you're starting. Maybe not.
I think I'm nervous about both of them this week.
Bro, I'd be more nervous about Dalv, dude. Even though he played more, but he did like Breece is just.
But you got to think that Cowboys defense, they're going to know that the Jets are not going to want to throw the ball with Zach Wilson. So they could stack the box on almost every play and just get him under pressure, and he's going to make mistakes. So it's kind of like they're going to force his hand to run the ball, and they're going to be running into a brick wall if that's the case. So it's tough.
So would you bench both?
I think so. At least if they weren't playing the Cowboys, by all means, I would say both of them are viable starters. I think I would lean a little bit more Breece just because of like his explosiveness. Obviously, we saw that he could do it in the run game and the passing game. But the tough matchup this week, I think I'm shying away from either of these running backs for at least right now.
Yeah, that's fair. It is a super hard matchup this week. If it was someone easier, like what I was trying to say is like say I have Dalv and you have Breece, like I would feel fine starting Dalv, and I'm sure you feel fine starting Breece. Like
100%. If they were playing like the Texans this week, both must starts.
Right, 100%. And especially with no Aaron Rodgers, I mean, like someone's got to move the ball. Somebody has to move the ball.
Somebody does. So, I mean, I'm not against starting either of them, but if you're forced to, just temper expectations a little bit.
Yeah.
Tough matchup. All right, moving on to my guy, Brandon Ayuk. Exploded this past weekend. How did you rank him and Debo for this week 2 matchup after Debo was being taken ahead of Ayuk in fantasy drafts?
Ayuk over Debo. Let's
Ayuk
get
over
real.
Debo.
I have Ayuk at
over
11.
Debo. I might be sleep on Ayuk. I have him at 16.
Ooh, you're asleep. Move him up.
Debo
Move him
at
up.
19. Who am I moving him above?
Waddle.
Waddle and CD
Yeah.
and Keen and DK
No,
and C.
no, don't move him over CD.
I have CD
over
at 12.
Olave.
I think CD is going to get locked up by Sauce.
You might be right. You might be right.
This week is weird, man. There's a
This
lot of
week
tough
is
matchups.
crazy. There's a lot of juicy matchups.
Yeah. Should be fun to watch, though. But, I mean.
Quick question. Gus Edwards or Swift?
Swift, 100%. No game well.
Swift.
He's going to get bulk of the work.
Yep.
And I feel like this game could end up being high scoring or the Eagles blowing the Vikings out. If that's the case, Swift's going to see the ball either way.
But if you're a little nervous, Gus isn't the worst option. But really, I want to be confident in Swift so bad. But
I'm confident in Swift. He's going to get the because he didn't get the chance. Same with James Cook all last year.
This is going to be the game where he takes over. This is going to be he becomes a starter this week.
Mm-hmm. Kenny G is going to fall back to the backseat like he's used to. No hate towards Kenny G, but you bring in Swift, you use him.
Yep.
Alrighty. Ayuk over Debo. That should be settled after last week. Yep. Moving on to my other guy, Calvin Ridley.
It's not your guy. It's my guy. It's
our guy. It's our guy. He moves back into wide receiver 1 territory with a huge game last week, but Christian Kirk disappeared in week 1. Is he startable on your flex, or are you nervous about him with the comeback of Calvin Ridley?
Definitely nervous about him. I'm pretty sure we all talked about this before the season started. Calvin Ridley is not just any other receiver just joining a team. He's
we've seen him finish top
the leader
5.
of an offense joining this team, and Kirk is. We all knew Kirk was going to take a couple steps back, maybe more than a couple steps back. But am I confident in starting Kirk?
Not the most confident, but they do play the Chiefs this week, which is the only plus.
Yes,
and this game could I think this could be the shootout of the week.
Shootout of the year, or could be, dude. This game
could be
if Kelsey plays. If Kelsey plays,
I think he's trending in the right direction. I'm anticipating him playing. I think the Chiefs want him out there. He wants to be out there.
He needs to be out there, or they're going to lose.
I don't think. I just hope they don't rush him back.
Just imagine the Chiefs going 0-2.
That'd be crazy. I think the world would blow up.
Oh my god. Ramondre for Mixon.
Are you getting Mixon? I think I would keep Ramondre, honestly. Even with Zeke being there, we saw last week, Stevenson's still the worst. And
he is still him, but
he's a PPR monster.
This is tough, dude.
I think I'm holding on to Stevenson.
Sway me.
I mean, all right, Mac Jones isn't going to be throwing the ball 50 times every single week. And when he's not doing that, Ramondre will be getting the ball. Even if he does throw it, he loves dumping it off to Ramondre. I forget how many targets he had last week, but it was a good amount. And we saw that throughout all of last season. And I think Zeke's role, at least from what we saw week 1, I know it's early, don't want to jump the gun on anything, but I think Zeke is just going to be the big back. They bring in goal line work or short yardage situations. And regardless of that, I think this is Ramondre's backfield.
Zeke washed.
100%.
Yeah,
it could be a vulture, which is frustrating, but I think Ramondre's upside, even with Zeke there, is higher than Mixon's in that pass first offense. Just my opinion. You don't got to listen to me. Just telling you what I think, what I know.
I'm down. I'm down.
I swayed you.
You did. I always hated Mixon, but I wanted to like him this year. I really did.
It was a tough week 1, so not much to like there. All right, moving on to the man of the hour, apparently. Popular waiver wire pickup Puka Nacua Unfortunately, he gets to face the 49ers defense this week. Is he even startable? I know you were loving on him, T guys.
I was loving on him. The Niners defense is scary, but I mean, like, it's not like Steph's going to get 0 yards. Like,
right. And the Rams are going to have to throw. The 49ers are going to put up points against
they're going to be throwing the entire game. And Puka literally got 15 targets last week. Like, that's unreal. I'm not confident starting him, but like, would I take a shot on him over like Drake London if I had him? Probably. 100% I would.
Drake London hasn't shown you shit.
Yep. So I mean, if you wanna get cute, if maybe you started at 0-1 or something, you're like, I need a little bit of juice in my lineup. Like,
yeah. Or if you're even a Cooper Kupp owner and obviously he's still on IR and struggling at the receiver position, hopefully you were able to get him. You should just be able to plug and play.
For like someone that gets 15 targets is not gonna get like 2 the next week. Like he's gonna get good amount of targets again.
I think so. Something said I think he was like the most efficient wide receiver in college football last year. I thought that was pretty interesting.
Dude, I need to start watching college football.
Me too.
I've been asleep. Who to trust more, Gabe Davis, Christian Kirk, or Kyren Williams?
Not Gabe Davis.
I'll never trust Gabe a day in my life.
Me either. This is tough. We were just hating on Christian Kirk hard body. And Kyren did look good. Cam Akers is so buns.
But bro, like
I just don't know
the Niners.
Right. And is this week or season long? Hard to tell. If it's this week, I think I'm leaning towards Christian Kirk. Obviously, going to be a high-scoring game against the Chiefs. Season long, I think I'd like Kyren Williams, but it only scares me because I don't know how many games the Rams are going to be up in until maybe Cooper Kupp's back. So that volume is the only thing that scares me there. But obviously, you have to deal with that with Christian Kirk as well with Calvin Ridley. So I think as of right now, I'm leaning towards the middle guy, Christian Kirk.
Yep. Probably a good time to sell George Pickens.
No, I think I'd hold.
Yeah, I would definitely hold. I mean, his stock can only go up right now, especially with Deontay out.
Don't jump the gun.
Yeah, give him a week or two to show what he can really do, and if he pops off, then I would sell high.
Yep.
Am I dumb for having Kareem Hunt on my bench? Like 2 out of 10 dumb. I don't think it's that dumb because it becomes like Kareem Hunt is good. Like if
JT gets traded, Kareem Hunt could very well go to the Colts, and I think he would be the workhorse on that team. So, I mean, it's not the worst decision to just stash Kareem Hunt just in case he does get that opportunity again.
That's why I only gave it a 2 out of 10. Definitely not. Yeah. Not dumb.
It does suck wasting that roster spot on someone who's not even on a team, but high risk, high reward.
Leverage.
Yep.
That's this week on the
Christian Kirk.
Yeah.
Lock it. All righty. Jesus, I forgot we had a John here. All right. Last but not least, Hunter Henry had a big week 1 versus the Eagles, finishing as the tight end 1. Is he startable this week versus the Dolphins, or do you want to see more?
Definitely want to see more. Like you said. What? Well, actually, he might have to throw again this week. He might have to throw again this week. It's hard to trust any tight end that isn't like a top 3.
It is, but Mike Gesicki was like non-existent, and that was the biggest worry because obviously we saw Hunter Henry and Jonnu Smith kind of split in past years. But Hunter Henry looked good. I know it was only week 1, and he could just be blowing smoke up our ass, but I think from what I saw, I'm trusting him. And like you just said, Teagues, the Patriots are probably going to have to throw a lot again this week.
Yeah, start him up. Start him up if you want to.
Yeah.
If you have like him and like Higbee or something, I'd start him.
Wouldn't hate benching Higbee.
No.
All righty. Let's get into our starts and sits. Start is a must-start player and a must-sit player for each of us. Can be any position, basically our locks of the week. I don't know if I was supposed to read that. But
Pretty sure you were.
Who is your start?
My my start is Zay Flowers. Last week, first game, 10 targets, 9 receptions, 78 yards, and he had 2 rushes for 9 yards. So they're using them all over the place. They get the Bengals this week, so like we were talking about, definitely could be a shootout. And Zay Flowers, he just looked good. He's the wide receiver 1 on the team. I know Mark Andrews didn't play, but even if he did play, I don't think it'd matter too much. Zay is still he's going to be a problem in this league. Like,
I agree.
Thank you.
And the Ravens just losing JK. I think they're going to lean towards passing the ball a little bit more. So I like that. Love me some Zay.
Yep. Should I do my sit or you want to do your start?
I'll do my start real quick.
Right.
I'm going to go the guy we've been talking about all podcast. That is DeAndre Swift. No bias intended. Obviously, we saw him non-existent last week with Gainwell getting the bulk of the workload, but with Gainwell out this week, I think DeAndre Swift, it's going to be his showcase basically this week on the team. And I think he's going to get a lot of the work. I don't know how much we're going to see of Penny, maybe in like short yardage situations, kind of the same with Zeke. But I see DeAndre Swift getting a hefty workload tonight against the Vikings.
Yep.
Right.
Agreed. Quick question.
Oh.
Alexander Madison tonight or T. Higgins Sunday? T. Higgins Sunday. Don't even think about it.
Don't think about it. Don't think too hard. Eagles defense is still good. We choked up a little bit last week. Don't overthink it.
Little bit.
All right, Teagues, let's jump into your sit of the week.
My sit. I don't have numbers for it. I failed to prepare. But we all know, well, if you play fantasy, you know Kirk Cousins is absolute dog water in prime time. He's playing a great defense tonight in prime time. So he lock him in for like 2 picks, under 200 yards, maybe a fumble, sacked about 6 times. It's over for Kirk. Trust me. Don't start Kirk, please.
Don't do it. It's a trap.
Madison about to score 5 touchdowns tonight. Stop.
I want whatever that guy's smoking.
Yeah, dude, please. All right, Alexander Madison, Dalvin Cook, or Jerry Jeudy for flex.
That's tough. Jeudy coming off an injury kind of scares me a little bit.
I might take Madison.
I think I'm leaning Madison too. Dalvin Cook going
solely because volume.
Obviously, I think Brees and Dalver more of in like a split backfield going up against a tough defense. Not sure how much I trust Russ or that Broncos offense or Jerry Jeudy coming off an injury. I think Madison is the safest bet.
Yep. Is it smart to play both JJ and Addison tonight? I just said how bad of a game Kirk's gonna have. God,
that's tough. I'd say. I want to say. I don't want to say yes. I don't want to say. I'm not saying yes. No, it's a bad idea.
It is a bad idea. You start J. Jeff and you just let it go. Even though I do think Addison will have a better night than J. Jeff, I'm just saying.
Expand your range of opportunity. Don't limit it to the Thursday night.
Like you obviously can't sit. You obviously can't sit J. Jeff, but starting them both when Kirk's playing in prime time, like, are we just being biased right now?
No, because like Kirk in prime time, the Vikings could have 100% have a complete meltdown tonight, and no player on this offense is going to be productive.
But they're gonna have to throw. But
well, what happened with Joe Burrow last week and that offense?
You're right. Don't start them both. Start JJ because you have to, and that's the end of it.
That's about it.
Good luck to the Eagles. Thank you. Do I trade Zay Flowers for Akers and Lockett? No, you keep Zay Flowers. 100%.
Akers is droppable.
Akers is literally droppable.
Yeah.
Cam Akers is absolute trash. And Lockett, it's pretty much Zay for Lockett. And I like Zay's upside.
Mm-hmm. And that's coming from a Lockett stan. So listen to the man.
Me. Love me some Lockett.
All righty. All through those questions for the time being. So let's get into. Oh, shit. I didn't even say my sit yet. My sit of the week is Dak. Don't have to get into much. He barely completed 50% of his passes last week. Didn't have to do much, but he's going up against a tough Jets defense this week. Obviously, they kind of held Josh Allen and the Bills last week in check for the most part. Were able to win the game. So obviously, Josh Allen is light years better than Dak Prescott. So please leave him on the bench if you can.
Mm-hmm.
Don't have to think too much about that. So now let's get right into our game picks. Let's read out the standings real quick. Sean had an abysmal week 1.
Abysmal.
Gonna have to climb Mount Everest to get back in this. He had 5. Me and T God's tied with 9, and Guru Q with 12 correct picks last week. Hopefully, me and T Gods can creep up to that number 1, and hopefully Sean falls a little bit further behind.
Dude, how did Sean only get 5, dude?
Bro, he took so many underdogs. It was insane.
He did. He went crazy. He took the Steelers, dude. And he took the Giants. He took the Giants. They lost by 40.
He's a dope. Whoever Sean picks, just bet against him.
Unless it's the Eagles.
Oh, yeah, unless it's the Eagles, 100%. But it looks like Sean has his picks in here. Q, not so sure, but I'm sure we could assume Q's pick for this first game tonight. Vikings at Eagles. Who do we got?
Go Birds, bro. Come on.
Go Birds.
That's what I'm typing them all in. That's why I'm just looking at my phone the whole time.
All right. No problem, my man. All right. Getting into the Sunday slate. 1 o'clock games. Ravens at Bengals. Who do we have? Bengals coming off a poor week last week.
This is tough.
This is tough. This is a juicy game.
The Bengals do bounce back, but is it enough to beat the Ravens?
I think the Bengals at home coming off of that week 1 stinker, they have to go off. I'm going to go Bengals.
Okay, you're right. If they were in Baltimore, I'd probably pick the Ravens.
I agree.
Yeah. All right, I'm taking the Bengals too. You swayed me.
Home field definitely helps. Q, if you're in the chat by any chance, just type in who you got.
Please, God.
I could always go off his picks in CBS though, so not the end of the world. Next game we have here is Seahawks at Lions. Sean is going with the Seattle Seahawks to bounce back. T-Gods, what do you feel?
I think I like the Lions.
Do you?
I don't know. This is like
this is a tough
could be
week.
One of those like I don't like it's like a shootout of like the bad defenses.
For real.
Like because both their offenses are like they're not bad. They're like above average. I think I don't know. This could be like a 3-point game, like a 3-point difference. But I'm taking the Lions in a close one.
I'm gonna go Seahawks also in a close one.
All
right. Let's move on to the Pooper Bowl of the week. Colts at the Texans. Sean is locking in the Colts to get a dub this week. I think
we're all taking the Colts.
Yeah, I'm right there with them.
Yeah.
I don't know if the Texans will win a single game this year, unfortunately. But clean sweep, Colts over the Texans. Don't think too much about it. Maybe a juicier matchup here. The Bears at the Bucks. Bucks surprised some people last week. Bears kind of shit the bed against the Packers. The Packers. But I see a Bears bounce back, and I'm skeptically going Bears. I have to. I don't. No way Baker starts the season 2-0. I refuse to believe it.
I'm riding with Baker and Big Mike Evans.
Gator.
I don't care. I'm taking the Bucks, and it's not a close one.
Justin Fields is just gonna run around like a little kid, running from his mom, and I just don't see Baker having the game he had last week.
All right.
Unfortunately,
Bears stink. Bears versus Texans would be a juicy matchup.
The Bears would cook.
I don't think they would.
Bro, they would. All right. Possibly the game of the week. The Chiefs at the Jaguars. Sean is calling for a Chiefs bounce back with hopefully Kelsey back. He's going with the Chiefs. I think I'm going to agree with him there.
I'm getting cute this week. I'm going Jags. I'm going Jags at home.
I don't hate it. If Kelsey isn't playing, I will 100% switch my pick over to Jags, but can't go into the future, can't go back in the past. So right now I'm sticking with the Chiefs.
All right.
All righty.
Take the over on this game, by the way. Jags.
Oh, yeah.
Jags Chiefs,
100%.
take the over.
Over's probably like 52.5.
I'm still taking the over.
I don't blame you. Next game we got here, Packers at the Falcons. Sean is going with the Green Bay Packers. Big believer in Jordan Love, I guess. And honestly, I don't blame him. I'm going Packers as well.
I'm going Packers too. And I was looking at some bets earlier, and Packers are the underdog right now. So I mean, if you want to take the chance on Aaron Jones
I'm about to hop
and
on
Christian
that.
Watson playing, that's like easy money right there. I don't know
I
why
think
the
even
Falcons,
without them, there's a chance that
100%,
like a good
dude.
chance that
Yeah.
the Packers could win this game. Falcons
Yeah.
are just a dog shit football team.
I love the
As much as
Falcons,
we
though.
want them to be good,
I do. I want them to be good. I don't
They're
even
tough
want
to
to talk
watch,
about
man. They're
them.
so
I don't even want to talk
frustrating.
about them.
all right, let's move on. Looks like we are all going with the Packers there.
Yeah.
Raiders at the Bills. Shouldn't be too hard of a decision. Sean's going Bills. I'm right there with him.
Bills.
Stretch those Bills.
Today.
Foreman Mills. All right. Let's move on to the Chargers at the Titans. Bolt up, baby. I'm going Chargers along with Sean.
Oh yeah, I'm taking the Chargers too. Me and Matt bet on or not bet, but we picked the Titans last week, and boy, were we wrong.
Big time, dude.
Who did we think were 10 he was going to go out there and get a win?
For real. Oh, man. Never again. Chargers all day, every day against the Titans. Next up, we have the 49ers at the Rams. Shouldn't be too hard as well.
Blowout of the week.
Yep. Blowout of the week. Clean sweep. 4 for 4. I'm just assuming Q isn't stupid enough to take the Rams here. Niners, lock it in. Maybe a more interesting matchup here. The G-Men who just got blown out by 40 and possibly the worst team in the league, the Cardinals.
Oh, man. Sean's taking the Giants. I think I'm taking the Giants too. I still think they're just a better football team.
Yeah, they are. They have the best player on the field, Saquon Barkley, by far.
Yep.
So I'm going to take that all day, every day. Big Blue still ass. All right, next up. Could have been a great matchup if Rodgers didn't get hurt last week, but we have the Jets at the Cowboys. We saw what the Cowboys did to the Giants last week. I don't think Zach Wilson is going to have much better luck going Cowboys.
But what about Dak being so bad?
Yeah, but their defense is just going to
I know.
It's kind of like the 49ers. Dak is kind of like a Brock Purdy, just maybe a
I
little
want
bit
to take the
worse.
Jets so bad, but it's just not worth falling behind.
Yeah, if Rodgers was playing 100%, I was taking the Jets. I'd think about it, but Jets would be the safer pick.
Yep.
But with Zach Wilson, you just can't trust it. So I think it's clean sweep there of the Cowboys. Next, we have another somewhat pooper, the Commanders at the Broncos.
Give me the Commanders. I hate the Broncos. I hate everything about them.
I'm going Commanders as well. Sean, I wish Q was here so we could leave you on an island by yourself and you would be another point down. Getting into some of the juicier, well, I guess this is the only juicy matchup left here. The Dolphins at the Patriots on Sunday Night Football.
Give me the Dolphins.
Yeah, I'm going the Dolphins as well. We did see the Patriots put up a fight last week against the Eagles, but that Dolphins offense is just so high-powered.
Yeah.
It's going to be tough for Bill Belichick to shut down every piece that they have. So I am going with the Dolphins as well. Moving into our Monday night doubleheader. First, we have the Saints at the Panthers.
I'm very surprised that Sean took the Saints here. He loves the Panthers.
I know he does love the Panthers.
They
but
let him
I'm
down
riding
last
with him.
week.
I'm going Saints.
I'm going Saints too.
I love Derek Carr on the Saints. Happy for
Me
that
too.
guy. He looks happy.
He does.
He does. He looks like he's having fun out there. I love it.
He's better than Kirk.
Ugh, I
My
wouldn't go
bad.
that far.
Sorry.
All right. Last but not least, to close out the week, we have the Cleveland Browns at the Pittsburgh Steelers. Both of these teams, not the greatest performance last week.
Sean is a madman. I'm taking the Browns.
Browns, 110%. No way the Steelers bounce back.
No way.
Kenny
No
Pickett
way.
off hasn't changed one bit. He looked good going against backups in the preseason, but
Did you see his someone reading his lips?
no.
He said he was like, I love it here, but this ain't it.
Oh,
When he was
was
on the
that
bench.
him?
I thought it was him. Was it not?
Oh, George Pickens. Yeah. I was
Are you
talking
talking about Kenny Pickett?
Yeah.
Same thing.
I did.
Same
Same thing.
Same.
But I did see that with George Pickens.
That's
a shame.
That's sad, man.
Dude, if he was on the fucking Chiefs, he would be so
If he was on
90%
of the other teams,
poor Pickens.
poor Najee too.
Yeah, poor Najee. Just everybody. Pick it up, Kenny Pickett. I believe in you, but you got to get something rolling here, boys.
Free Najee.
Free Naj. Free Pickens.
Free George.
Free Deontay. All right. Well, that wraps it up for the game picks this week. Obviously, no Q, so unfortunately, no trivia. Wah, wah. But we will be back next week to recap on Monday and our week 3 preview on Thursday. Again, if you're interested in using Fanatics, go to the link in our bio on all social media platforms to take advantage of their current sale going on. Use code SUMMER, SUMMER. It helps us out a ton. Greatly appreciated. And as always, make sure to follow Super Fantasy Bros on all platforms, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok. We're everywhere. Whatever you use, you'll find us. Also, to make sure to check out Old City Sports Network. Ton of good podcasts on there, and they have a bunch of great sponsors over there as well that help support us too. So also greatly appreciate it. Go check them out. And we will see you guys next week. Good luck in week 2.
Oh
Peace.
yeah.